This is the talk of the town right now, as far as who was in the wrong, who was in the right. Deegan versus Smith. I have a couple things that I want to point out to you that I think haven't been talked about yet.
Okay. I always, by the way, especially if this gets clipped right off the bat, I want to let you guys know that I want Moto Academy and my feedback to always be as objective as possible and to talk about the things that are really important within the situation. So sometimes deciding whose fault it is less important, although depending on the situation, it might just make sense to talk about and describe whose fault that a certain, something is how it's playing out. But I don't like, to a certain extent, and we'll talk about this at some point as well, the media has to do what the media does, I guess, which is dramatize and hype up situations, which is then annoying to the riders. I don't want to come off ever in that way. I always want to try and talk about it with our personal twist and what I can add, which hopefully is more value added than reporting dramatically on a situation without any real something to talk about. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Because I hate jumping on or piggybacking on topics that are sort of the hot topic or popular thing going on. I never want to talk about it unless I have something good to add.
It's
so hopefully I have something
interesting-
good to add here.
Well, it's interesting that you brought that up because I have a couple things that I want to point out. But here's the deal, right? We are not the news. There are people for that.
Right.
We're just here to obviously have fun and talk about stuff that's going on. You know what I mean?
What are we here for?
I don't know. All right, let's watch what happened.
We don't know.
Should be just another practice day at the Yamaha Star Racing.
Pause it.
Oh, we want to pause it already, dude? What?
Can you give me a rewind?
Oh, good.
Jordan Smith's entry speed in these whoops, sick.
Dude.
So the key to these whoops really, and I don't know if he did it in this situation or not, you had to get a double upshift and hit them in fifth. If you really wanted to reach Mach 5 next level speed, you had to go fifth gear to try and lower the RPMs a little bit. The whoop faces were so steep that you would start creating so much wheel spin and your RPMs would get so high, even in fourth gear, that you'd begin to lose speed by the time you're 6 whoops in. All of what Jordan Smith does here to catch up is done before the first whoop and on the first couple of whoops. Like, watch that speed launching in.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was a great pass.
Now, real quick, shout out. AJ Cat, 8th place. Sick.
Yep.
All right, talk me through this. Whoops.
Yeah.
Practice day at the Yamaha Star Racing.
Okay. Fair play.
Fair.
Don't try and pass a guy on the outside. This interesting. Fine. Okay with that. That's what pissed him off, and that's what would have pissed me off probably. Which then again,
Now,
keep replaying that because I haven't really seen this yet. There's so many. Wow, that whoop speed was great because Deegan hit them really well too.
yes, he did. That's fair.
Fair play.
Totally fair. This, what do you think about this?
That's fine.
I think so too. Yeah.
Yep. Cut under. Also fine. This is cool to watch. Hit him a little hard there maybe.
Yep.
But low speed of enough of a section where I'm okay with all of that.
I agree. Simply because,
Would I have been furious if I was Jordan Smith? Yep.
yeah, of course.
But I'm okay with all of it. Now,
That's
do you
racing.
think something happened? Do you think something happened midweek? Like, do you think this
Okay,
is
hang on, hang
Deegan?
on. We're going to get
Okay.
to that. We're going to get to that. Because something happened in the press conference that nobody's talked about yet.
Oh.
It has something to do with Nate Thrasher's face when they're talking about it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, look at this. Like, Deegan slows up. Great. Then
Yeah, could have
Jordan
hit him
does
there
the
on
same
the exit
thing.
of the turn,
Look at,
but didn't.
he's looking right at him. He's like, ooh, what you going to do?
And Jordan Smith's feeding into it here because look at the line that Jordan Smith slowly go forward with it from here. Jordan Smith's not heading the correct direction if he's trying to defend that corner.
No.
Where's Jordan Smith going?
Yeah, what? That was actually kind of a silly move. Like,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, what is he expecting to happen entering with that much space? I say this on every single breakdown. If you want to protect a corner, you should have your foot peg up against that tough block on the entry. And that's where Deegan's going. Jordan Smith leaves 3 bike lengths to his left side. So and now breaking this down, I guess he should have probably expected that to had happened. And maybe as we say all this, maybe Jordan Smith was totally fine with all of it. Did anybody take this into account yet? Has he said anything?
Not that I've heard.
Did anybody witness a fist fight at the Star Rig after the race?
No.
Like,
They're
for all we know,
Yeah.
there's no drama to be had. But
And look at the actual crash. Like, that's not on Deegan.
now, but you can see, so what happened? Rewind.
Yep.
Well, we're not gonna talk about less about maybe. Keep going back. Sorry. Right here,
Okay.
impact, blood red mad, furious.
Yes.
Jordan Smith seeing red, instantly, completely infuriated because there was no way he was passing him back in this right-handed turn. He was not close enough to do anything but try to make contact, and he wasn't even close enough to really do that. So, yeah, he, of course, and Jordan Smith would say this in a heartbeat. He shouldn't have reacted out of emotion right there, because that's ultimately what put him to the ground. He's very smart. He knows that. And it happens. And you want to know what? I probably would have done the same thing.
This is what I think set up everything for failure. Listen to what Carmichael says.
Playing cat and mouse.
Oh, what?
Wow.
Okay. So Jeremy Martin says thank you. RC, what was that?
Yeah, that was too much. I'm not sure if something's going on between these two, but for teammates, that is way over the line. Way over the line.
Well,
Okay, tell me. Is it too much?
Okay, so now Carmichael's talking out of a team manager's perspective. Yeah, if I'm the team manager, I'm angry with that. 100%. I'm angry with all of it. I'm angry with Deegan hitting him when it probably wasn't 100% necessary. I'm angry with Jordan making the decision to try to get him back and then ending up on the ground, because now we're not going to have a guy. Now we have a guy going to the LCQ. Yeah, I understand, to be honest, I understand all of it and everybody's individual perspective. And I think, honestly, if anybody in just life, actually, we're going to do a little life lesson here, Cam.
Okay,
If
I'm
you
ready.
can learn to treat situations like that happen in your life objectively and try and see it from every single person's point of view, you might not judge it as harshly, or you might not judge it at all. That's why when I watch this, sometimes I struggle to form an opinion because I don't really have one.
Yeah, and
a
that's,
lot of the time.
you don't need an opinion.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, honestly, if you don't have an opinion, that's probably better.
Was what Carmichael just said wrong? No, not really. No. But do I firmly fall on his side of what he said? No. And I bet you Carmichael doesn't firmly fall on his side, or maybe he does. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like,
You want to know what though? We're talking about it. And you want to know what that means? It was entertaining.
right. Yes, it was very entertaining.
So great. As long as it's not overtly, obviously, vindictively dirty or not dirty, dangerous, then that's where the line should be drawn. If you're really going to harm somebody in a big way, that's where the line should be drawn. Playful contact like that, could it hurt somebody? Yes, but there's probably higher risk things happening on the track. I don't think that's where the line is drawn. I think I'm okay with all of this.
Okay, this conversation.
It's entertaining.
This conversation's going exactly where I want it to. Okay, so here's the press conference. Press conference was, I think, the interesting part of this whole conversation.
Thanks, Dan. Hayden, back to you. You have no regrets on that aggressive racing in a heat race with no points available and knocking your teammate out of a championship battle?
Pause it. Also, before he even responds, the tone of that question felt slightly judgmental and condescending.
Okay, this is the only thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
Is the guy asking the question. But let's listen to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's in like 5th in points. He's a little out of it, but besides that, I mean, it was good. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Thrasher's reaction.
Well, a lot of people were, and that's the thing is we're just kind of wondering if you say you don't remember that. It's a heat race. Were you present in that moment saying this doesn't matter for points and this is my teammate, or he was just another rider?
Pause it. The actual question part of that is great, and it's actually a good question. Mm-hmm. I think again the interviewer was a little, even maybe more so, condescending and judgmental in that response.
Okay, so let's just start talking about it.
Now if I'm a rider, you want to know what I'm doing if I'm one of these guys right now?
What's that?
And this is where I'm still a little weak-minded here, and the ego still exists. I would be like, okay, now I'm going to make this guy look silly.
Okay, wait, let me.
That's what I would think.
Okay, but here's the deal. Here's my point in all of this. Okay.
But his tone was like me. His tone was a little bit questionable.
Let me get there. Do you listen to press conferences often?
I don't listen to. I don't
of course
see
not.
anything.
Let me tell you what happens in press conferences. Our sport, the journalists of the sport, are very monotone. Every question is very monotone. Like, this question was very unusual in the tone that it was asked.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Our sport has always had a good, like, everything sounds pretty darn objective. Like, of course you're going to have outliers in that, but I would say overall, objective journalists, like very good. Now, all of a sudden, you have a reporter, and I'm sure he's a great dude. Like, I don't even know who asked the question. Okay. But I was like, man, that sounds like a CNN reporter.
Huh.
The way that he
interesting.
it was very unusual, very biased. That was strange.
So now not as surprised that Hunter steps in here, because
yes,
the Lawrence family is very tuned in and sensitive to, they think that they don't like when they hear negative comments about dirty riding. They are very much like, leave us alone, let us do what we're going to do. Let's listen to the rest of the interview.
I mean, he's my teammate, but he's a veteran. He's been in the sport for a while, and I was just up there, battling. I want to win just as bad as everyone else, no matter if it's a heat race or a main. I want to win, so just trying to push that.
Good answer.
Can I touch on this for 1 second? I just wanted to point something out, which kind of
I love
amazes
Hunter.
me.
I do
So
too.
much of the people on social media, where everyone puts their expertise in, say, oh, the racing back in the 90s, early 2000s, like where men were men. They always talk about how gnarly it was, and then anytime a block pass or something happens now, everyone cries about it. That's just kind of a bit interesting. It's either, pick one. You either want the gnarly block
Deegan's
passes
reaction.
from 10 years ago, and then when you get it, everyone makes a big song and dance about it. So that's my perspective. I think it's a bit funny how that works.
I agree.
Pause it.
Okay.
Entertaining, and Deegan's response was hilarious. Hunter just made a great point. Thrasher didn't really respond yet.
All right, my question
Continue.
was about teammates in a heat race when it comes to non-points paying in a championship battle. That's kind of my reaction. If this was in a main event, going for the win, I don't think there'd be this kind of reaction. I guess the big reaction from fans was a surprise of teammates getting to that point, especially for a heat race.
Interesting that none of them responded. I would have continued to respond. Does Hunter say something else, though? Doesn't he?
Yeah, hang on. Hayden's like,
Hunter,
cool question,
go
man.
ahead, Hunter.
Yeah, I didn't know you were talking to me. Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. Take what you want. Everyone's easy to point the finger. We're out there making decisions that split millisecond, you know. People have all month to pay their phone bill and they still can't do that on time. So we're making decisions at, you know, such a fast reaction, adrenaline, you know, and everyone, not just saying it for me or Haiden or speak for all the guys, you know. No one's perfect and we're under a microscope out there. So the media is really quick to point the finger when someone makes a mistake.
Pause it. What great answer. I think what interviewers have to remember, or just people watching this have to remember as well, these aren't just really fast people on dirt bikes, they're really high level. You know, just in the way that they think and operate, extremely high level. So for anybody to judge and think that they would react better in a high pressure, high adrenaline moment, they are so wrong. Because, and Allie laughs at me all the time, I always say I'm the best driver she'll ever be in the car with because of the way that I could react to a situation that's playing out in real time. Because I've just been thrown into so many life-threatening situations on a dirt bike where I've had to react and handle things. That's what Hunter's saying there. Is like, listen, dude, we are making decisions like that.
Right.
That you guys can sit here and talk about in hindsight for hours and hours, but we are making that decision in real time. And guess what? We're doing it way better than you ever could. So yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
And that was well said by Hunter.
Yeah.
This is super entertaining. I love this.
It's so, I thought it was so cool, right? Like for Hunter to stick up for
really
Haiden.
Cool.
And
really
I mean, it's
cool.
like there's a lot of integrity there that, you know, because like you could just like let Haiden get blasted.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know. This is an opinion. Take it for what you will. Come after me if you want. Whatever. I don't care. I think the whole thing was blown up a bit more than it should have. The tone and the question was annoying to me. I don't care how you feel about Haiden. The dude's killing it. Like, I don't think anybody can disagree with that. And it was a great race.
That does show the character of Hunter.
Yes, it does. And that's the biggest thing.
Cool.
It shows like, man, yeah. And it's so
like
great
that.
to be partnered with those guys because they're good. They're good dudes. You know, Hunter's a great dude.
They have a really
Jet's
good,
awesome.
The whole family has a really good moral compass.
Yeah.
They navigate things really well. And what I will say too is getting in my conversations with old man Deegs, same thing.
However, of course, going back to the storyline of the night is kind of you and Jordan in heat race. Can you walk us through it from your perspective, and at the end of it, being able to review and look back on it, does it still just fall as a racing incident for you, or?
Yeah, man, I don't even know what happened. I wasn't paying attention really. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, it was good. It was good racing, you know. It's fun. So I don't know. Yeah, I just had some fun doing it.
Did afterwards,
watch
get back to the
Thrasher's face.
hauler? Have you guys discussed it at all internally from a team standpoint? And was there anything for management that they pointed out, or was it pretty much, have you guys even gone to that point?
Yeah, it was all cool. It's just racing.
Okay.
It was so funny to watch Thrasher's face because it said the exact opposite of what Haiden was saying.
Wait, and replay that last part one more time. Let me watch Hayden's face as he said that.
That they pointed out, or was it pretty much, have you guys even gone to that point?
Yeah, it was all cool. It's just racing.
Okay.
Jamie?
I mean, he looked slightly insecure as he was saying that, too.
I mean, there's nothing we can do with that other than speculate, but I just thought it was kind of funny to watch,
I mean, they're not going to feed into the drama and say, oh, yeah, matter of fact, he did take me out this week.
Right. You're right. Matter of fact,
I mean?
Yeah, we actually had a fist fight.
Yeah, matter of fact.
Who knows?
Took our gloves off and
do I not
beat each other up.
Quick question just for Nate. Nate, Hunter kind of weighed in a little bit on the situation with Haiden and Jordan in the heat race. Did you have any comments about that? Do you kind of feel the same way Hunter does about the racing? Or
Good question.
Was there anything kind of you wanted to say?
Yeah, I don't have any comment.
Thank you.
Oh. Oh.
Well, we'll end on that note.
Now, there is nothing we can do with that other than speculate, but I found it fun to watch. I was just like, ooh, what's happening here? Like, you know, but.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, go download them. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and I think that's it. Go download them there. Give them a listen. If you want to watch full episodes, which I tell you what, it's even better to do that. Go to club.themotoacademy.com because Moto Academy subscribers inside of the app have exclusive access to watch the entire episodes. And not only that, the subscribers actually can send in their questions to be answered in the podcast as well. Club.themotoacademy.com. Go subscribe.